On WUSA 9 News at 11, next month will mark a year since the deadly mid-air crash at DCA that killed 67 people. And tonight there's growing pressure on lawmakers to block a bill that would undo safety changes put in place to prevent another tragedy. Thank you for staying up with us tonight. I'm Lorenzo Hall.
And I'm Leslie Foster. One proposed change raising some major red flags, allowing military training flights back into DCA's airspace. Our Katie Lusso is at the airport with what's got the NTSB fired up tonight.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy says legislation like this that's still making its way through the House and Senate is not something they would normally weigh in on. But she says this was not a situation where she could sit back and not speak up, going so far as to call this shameful.
It's also an unthinkable dismissal of our investigation and of 67 families who lost loved ones in a tragedy that was entirely preventable. This is shameful.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy says Section 373 of the National Defense Authorization Act, the manned rotary wing aircraft safety, is drafted to look as if it enhances safety.
I want to be very clear that it does not in any way enhance safety.
She says it actually reverses safety changes that were made after the mid-air collision.
It would allow the secretary of any military department to allow training missions in the DC airspace to take place without key safety reforms put in place after the January 29th mid-air collision.
After the collision, the NTSB required military aircrafts to broadcast their positions, but this, she says, allows military helicopter pilots to fly with ADSB turned off. That's the technology that shares real-time information about the aircraft's location with air traffic controllers and nearby aircrafts.
This is a significant safety setback.
Wednesday night, families of the victims also reacting. The parents of First Officer Sam Lilly calling the language in it deeply concerning. Homendy says this is extremely dangerous.
If this becomes law, no, I would be concerned about safety in the DC airspace. Absolutely not. I could not assure anybody. I would not stand up there and say this guarantees safety. It does not. It is a step backward.
She says what makes this even worse is that the NTSB was not even consulted with before this. She says she has sent a letter to lawmakers and is hoping to be a part of any future conversations. Outside of DCA, I'm Katie Lusso, WUSA 9.
Strong words. And in the last couple of hours, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, who's on the Senate Armed Services Committee, released this statement about the provisions in the new defense bill. He writes in part, in the coming weeks, the NTSB and the Army are releasing their reports regarding the crash, which will provide guidance as Congress considers additional steps the DoD and FAA can take to avoid catastrophe in the future.